You guys know when you're riding your bike in December and you head out when the weather's nice, you know, fairly temperate, and you get to your destination, everything's fine, you go inside, you're there for maybe 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes tops, you come out and it's raining, like freezing rain, you have to ride all the way home in it. Yeah, I hate it when that happens.
Out in the cold and trying to make fire to stick.
Alright, so exciting information video. The reason I was out riding my bike today was to get down to my doctor's office because I had an appointment with her to see about getting a prescription for a different type of injectable testosterone, because as some people know, up in Canada at least, deletestrol is on back order. And I talked to the pharmacist at the doctor's office, and he has led me to believe that all injectable testosterone brands are on back order. So even Depo testosterone, cypronate, I don't know. But the other type of testosterone, he said they don't have any of that either. And I'm pretty lucky because I still have some of my oral testosterone left over. So that'll be able to tide me over until this distribution company get their shit together. But since I was at the doctor's office, I thought I'd ask her a few questions about other stuff. So I'm making this video with information that I've obtained from my GP, and hopefully it's helpful to some people. So, FTM Kickstart video about bottom health. I don't know if anyone's seen it. I suppose I can put a link to it in the info bar. But I was talking about pap smears. Ugh. I don't even like saying the word. And how I was put under the impression that I needed to get one even though I haven't had penetrative sex. And I talked to her about it today, and she said that because I haven't had sex with a man, she doesn't feel that I need a pap smear. And then I've looked up online, and there's a lot of controversy. Some people, like some doctor responses to questions have been along that line. You know, if you haven't had penetrative sex with men, you're at lower risk, and so you don't necessarily need a pap smear. And then other people are very adamant, saying, you know, regardless of whether you've had any kind of sex or not, you should still get a pap smear because, you know, the HPV virus, wart virus, human papillomavirus virus thing, it's a predominant way that you get cervical cancer, but it's not the only way. And then if you have a hysterectomy, a full hysterectomy where you get rid of the uterus and the cervix, you don't need to get pap smears. And then I asked her about whether she recommends trans guys get hysterectomies, and her belief is it's a fairly invasive, big surgery. Like, it's a big operation, it's a big deal, and she doesn't recommend doing any sort of invasive surgical procedure unless there's a reason to, you know, unless there's something going on in there, a little cold, unless there's something going on in there that needs to be addressed, and a hysterectomy is the best way to deal with that. But otherwise, it's not something she would recommend just because I'm a trans man and just because I'm on testosterone. And I mentioned the fact that some trans guys and some professionals are talking about a possible link between some sort of, you know, cancers in that area. So I guess uterine cancer, ovarian cancer, caused by testosterone. As far as ovarian cancer goes, she was saying hysterectomy doesn't take away your ovaries, so you'd have to get the surgery that removes everything. And even then, you can still get ovarian cancer because it's a stem cell cancer. It's your stem cells that start mutating and become cancerous, and stem cells are all over your body, you know, not just in your ovaries. And she was saying there aren't any screening tests for ovarian cancer, so, you know, there's nothing you can really do to check up and see if you have it, if you don't have it, how to, you know, just, I don't know how you deal with that. But yeah, she was saying removing all those organs, all those reproductive organs from yourself doesn't erase the risk of getting ovarian cancer. So something to be aware of. I didn't know that before. It was very interesting. And she did write me a prescription for Gardasil, which is a vaccine against the wart virus, or HPV, because you can still get the virus from oral sex or from touching, rubbing the genitals, all that fun stuff, which I have done. So when you get your first shot, you wait 2 months, you get the next shot, and then 6 months later you get a booster, and that covers you for life. It protects against the wart virus that is sexually transmitted by any type of sex, as I said before. So that is good. I don't plan on having penetrative sex with anyone ever in my life, so I don't think I'm going to get a pap smear. There's no history of it in my family. I don't feel particularly concerned about it. Maybe that's a bad decision, but who the fuck cares? I don't plan on living that long anyway. So, we'll see. I'll take myself out before the cancer can get me. Yep. And what else have I got? Something I recommend? Okay, so about tea being on back order, I think you should talk to your pharmacy and see what they have in stock, because you can get the gel, you can get patches, you could get oral if they don't have any injectable testosterone of any sort in stock until January, I think, is when dolutegravir is supposed to come back in, but, you know, who knows? Yeah, so talk to the pharmacy that you usually go to get your stuff at, or go around to other pharmacies and see what they have, and then go to the person who prescribes your tea and let them know that what you take is on back order, and they can write you a script for like a filler, something else, a gel or something, just to tide you over until dolutegravir will get their stuff back out to us, which, I don't know. Actually, Ben, who posts videos on FTM Kickstart as well, had a really good video where he went and he was looking to talk to someone to find out why, and he just got redirected 100 times and found out the representative who deals with like customer issues, I guess, the customer relations person is out of the office until January 3rd. So that's a little intro. I'll put the link to his video in the bottom too, so you can watch that. It's good. Okay, last thing, traveling, testosterone. A long time, I made a video about this, and it was terrible because I forgot to ask my doctor about it. I just completely spaced. So I wrote it down, and I opened my book, and I made sure I asked her. So what she said is, if you are traveling abroad, so out of the country, for me out of Canada, I can go to my doctor and get her to write me a prescription for a year's worth of testosterone. And then if I'm traveling outside of the country, I would need to fill that entire order for a year's worth of tea and bring it with me on my travels. And then after I run out, I would have to find someone in whatever country I find myself in, find someone who's LGBT positive, or not even, just find a, she said a doctor is better, but you know, you could even go into walk-in clinics, but she recommended finding a doctor and letting them know. And I think, see, I should have asked her this, but I always space on everything. I think if you were going to plan out like a 2 to 3 year traveling outside of your country of origin, you'd probably have to plan extensively, and so you could plan to be in a country that is more LGBT friendly than not, and probably have an easier time finding a doctor who, you know, knows about trans issues and testosterone and all that stuff. But then I think if you happen to find yourself in a country that might not be as accepting, you could probably just play it off as you're a man and you have a hormone imbalance and you need testosterone and you're traveling, go from there. But she was saying you can't, like, a pharmacy in another country probably wouldn't honor a prescription written to you in your country of origin. So for me, if I took a prescription from Ontario and tried to get it filled in Amsterdam, they might be like, no. And then for me in Vancouver, she was saying that having a prescription written by her, I could probably get it filled in Vancouver for a little while, a short while, but eventually the pharmacy would probably get a bit annoyed, she was saying, like, you know, just not appreciate having to fill orders from Ontario, you know, that were written in Ontario. And she was saying after, like, if I had a prescription, I had about 5 refills left on it, and I go out to Vancouver, I could probably get those 5 refills filled in Vancouver with my Ontario prescription. But then after that, I couldn't ask her to write me another prescription to get it filled. I'd have to find a doctor in Vancouver to get that stuff taken care of, to get them to write me testosterone prescription. She recommends finding a doctor. She was saying if you have, like, I know some people out there, so I can talk to them, find out who their doctor is, and go in and talk to their doctor and see if I can, like, squeeze in every once in a while or get blood work done, because that's the big important thing, right? Blood work. And then just getting testosterone prescription written out. So yeah, I think I covered everything I wanted to. Yeah. Talk to you guys soon.